as the top school bully. Getting discovered as an omega by my archrival after secondary gender differentiation was the ultimate humiliation. To keep him quiet, I reluctantly became his lackey. When he got ambushed with an inducer serum triggering his rut cycle, I was dragged in as emergency relief. Trembling, I pushed open his door only to be engulfed by violent pheromones. The usually arrogant Alex whimpered like a vulnerable pup. "Johnny, I need you." After we both enrolled in the military prep academy, I vowed to dominate as campus king. Swaggering through halls with my baton, I recruited underlings to build an empire, determined to make my lifelong rival Alex cry like a baby. But my grand bullying scheme shattered when the medic announced in monotone, "Congratulations, Mr. Wilson. Your secondary differentiation results confirm omega status." Alex stood arms crossed beside the cot where he'd carried me princess style, smirk harder to suppress than a cocked AK-47. Nothing's more mortifying than your nemesis witnessing your social death moment. Our rivalry began in childhood. Quiet and brooding Alex became everything my parents wanted: stoic martial arts prodigy, collecting gold medals while they sneered at my useless chatter. I spiked his pre-tournament drink with laxatives. He secretly filmed my street fights for parental blackmail. Even at the academy, we've been neck and neck competing for junior lieutenant honors. Now the balance tipped. "Don't do anything drastic," Alex drawled. "Protecting some omega is easy work for an S-class alpha." His patronizing grin stretched ear to ear as I slapped away his offered hand. Newly differentiated weakness made my legs buckle. Alex's iron grip steadied me. "Behave. Fresh omegas need care." "Omega my ass. I'll still smash alpha skulls." I managed 2 wobbly steps before dizziness hit. "Really want the whole school knowing?" Alex nodded at the peach-scented pheromones saturating the room. Even my biology betrayed me. Gritting teeth, I dropped to my knees clutching his tailored pants. "Alex, please. God, that's disgusting. Bastard." Forcing sweetness through clenched jaw, I bargained. "Keep the secret and I'll do anything." "Anything?" His raised eyebrow promised trouble. He leaned down, slightly closing the distance between us. His gaze suddenly turned wolfish, staring at me until my entire body trembled. Holy shit. So this was the legendary pressure from a top-tier alpha. The school's first admission rule prohibited omegas from enrolling. It wasn't prejudice. Omegas were simply too rare and fragile to handle daily overload training. They couldn't withstand alphas carelessly releasing pheromones during rut cycles either. I refused to accept this. After dedicating years to becoming the highest-ranking general, everything I'd worked for would crumble just because I presented as an omega. The silver lining? The school physician had served under my father. I threatened him by the collar until he agreed to keep my secret and provide specialized scent suppressants. As for Alex, though he promised cooperation, I always suspected ulterior motives. My instincts proved right when his message blinked across my screen right after training. "Get over here. Move into my dorm." Maybe my omega hormones amplified emotions, but his tone made me want to cry from sheer frustration. Who did he think he was? Ordering me around like some bonded omega? I petulantly ignored his message, joining my roommate for basketball instead. Physical exhaustion scattered my thoughts. My clueless buddy nudged me mid-game. "When we taking Alex down, John?" Headache materialized instantly. Alex had presented earlier, already crowned the S-tier alpha destined for generalship upon enrollment. I remained the only student capable of rivaling him. My squad constantly hyped me as the S-tier who'll surpass Alex Johnson. Now this walking liability of a body could barely stand against him. "Let's lay low till the lieutenant exams." I deflected. The court erupted. Someone fumbled the ball mid-catch. Voices booming. "What? You're letting him off after his goons tossed dead rats in your food? Seriously, Cap. You've been acting weird since the infirmary. Did Alex do something to you?" I scrambled for the basketball, avoiding eye contact, as if I'd fear that loser. Right? Our captain's gonna be the S-tier of S-tiers. God, make them shut up. Who's the loser? Arctic arrogance sliced through the court. Overwhelming outward pheromones crashed over me like tidal waves, knees buckling. Even regular alphas recoiled from the brutal S-tier pheromone assault. "Damn, Cap. Rein him in. There's no omegas here. Pound him into submission." Amid the chaos, I forced myself toward Alex. His pheromones shredded my resolve cell by cell. Suddenly, burning heat engulfed me, his chest trapping my shuddering form. His velvet baritone vibrated against my ear. Wouldn't surrendering be easier, little Omega? My head felt like it was floating on clouds as I stumbled forward. When I finally regained my senses, I realized Alex had dragged both me and my luggage into his dorm, a single suite reserved for S-class alphas. Compared to my cramped quad, this place was ridiculously spacious, complete with a kitchen and living area. Back during orientation, I bragged, "Who needs this show-off space? I'll be living here myself soon enough." Talk about a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just not in the way I'd imagined. "Stay put if you don't want this getting out," Alex threatened, that infuriating smirk plastered on his face. Perfect. He thought he had me cornered? Wait till he tries kicking me out later. To annoy him, I kicked off my shoes and deliberately walked barefoot across his pristine floors before flopping onto his king-sized bed. Everyone knew S-class alphas were obsessive about their territory, especially their beds. No way he'd tolerate an Omega like me contaminating his sacred space. Trying to piss me off, John? He leaned closer, eyes narrowing. Know what happened to the last Omega who got caught here? Some idiot thought he could sneak into the program. His roommates found out, took turns claiming him, knocked him up so bad they couldn't even tell who the father was. Got shipped home to play housewife. His calloused hand closed around my ankle, dragging me toward him until his rough thumb pressed against my hip bone. I shivered despite myself. Still feel like testing me? You've got two choices: walk out that door right now, or risk waddling out of here 9 months later. Damn it. He had me checkmated. The bed became our reluctant truce. No S-class alpha would sleep on the floor, and no self-respecting Omega would either. We ended up sharing like some messed-up married couple. Couldn't figure out why Alex would choose this mutually assured destruction strategy. I sprawled shamelessly across 3/4 of the mattress, dead to the world, until my crew came crashing through the door at dawn. Those idiots. My loyal, moronic crew. Why couldn't they have waited 5 more minutes? There I was, Koala hugging Alex of all people, our barrier pillow MIA, his usually impeccable uniform shirt hanging open like some cheap romance novel cover. Guys, let me explain. My brain scrambled for plausible lies. But my boys dropped to their knees, tears of admiration shining in their eyes. Boss, you fought him all night to avenge us. Look at his clothes. Totally wrecked. That's our leader. Did you kick his ass? John, are you hurt? I felt Alex's shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter beside me. Couldn't blame the guys. If you told anyone at the school John and Alex shared a bed, they'd call you delusional. They'd sooner believe alphas could get pregnant. Alex sat up lazily, that dangerous glint returning to his eyes. Know the penalty for breaking into a top alpha's quarters? Shit. Military tribunal charges. Espionage allegations. My blood ran cold. Touch them and I'll end you, Alex. He merely raised an eyebrow at my outburst. My crew's awestruck faces said everything. Their boss was either the bravest Omega alive or the dumbest. But hey, at least we were all going down together. Grabbed Alex's collar and shook him. The white silk robe slid down the sheets, gradually revealing the powerful physique he'd been hiding. I couldn't tear my eyes away. Damn. He'd actually been working out to secretly impress everyone. All those previous wrestling matches must have been him playing along. So much for being evenly matched with those explosive muscles. He could have knocked me out with one punch. Can I take back what I said earlier? John, sob. We'll follow you to the death. John. Fine. Go die first then. Live to fight another day. I pretended to bolt, but Alex's large hand effortlessly yanked me back onto the bed. Of course, I ended up pinning him down. The position couldn't be more awkward. I suspected another act. Two can play this game. Waving at my lackeys, I announced, "Scram. I'll handle this." When we were alone again, my attempts to crawl away only landed me back on Alex's chest. Resorting to headbutts now that you can't win? He lifted me like a kitten, hands firm on my waist. Humiliation didn't begin to cover it. This was outright degradation. Breaking free, I threw clothes from the wardrobe at him. Got exhibitionist tendencies? Sleep fully dressed from now on. Alex didn't react, just stared until my scalp prickled. From now? What? I leaned in. He articulated slowly, hands on hips. At school, keep your distance to avoid suspicion. Alex chuckled low, menace lacing his tone. You promised to do anything. Don't tell me you're going back on your word now. I narrowed my eyes. Meaning? You'll stick to me like glue. You're insane. Spreading his arms in mock innocence, Alex drawled, feel free to resist. Though I wonder how your fan club would react upon discovering our fiercely competitive John is an Omega. God damn it. The blistering sun scorched the training grounds where Alex dominated hand-to-hand combat. His fighting gear strained against bulging muscles. Another opponent hit the dirt wailing. I crushed my water bottle. There was time I ruled these mats too. But Omega biology sucks can't even handle sunlight. Suddenly shadow fell across my face. My expression softened until I saw Alex's smirking face tilted at me. Johnny, where's my water? Bastard knew exactly what he was doing. I kicked away the bottle's plastic corpse. Cheers erupted. Destroy him. Boss, wipe that smirk off. With friends like these, the morons actually thought I'd challenge him. Since they're all hyped up, Alex cracked his knuckles, grin widening. Shall we give them a show? Alex leaned close, his breath tickling my ear as his lips brushed against my earlobe. Before I could protest, he drew back with exaggerated disappointment. He dragged out the syllable dramatically, prompting me to clap my hand over his mouth amid everyone's bewildered stares. Effective immediately, I announced, all hostilities toward Alex cease. Alpha solidarity is crucial for national security. The group exchanged stunned glances. My frantic eye signals finally registered. Right? Peace. Totally. They chorused, flashing okay signs. The momentary relief evaporated. This fragile truce wouldn't last. Dawn found me reserving library seats for Alex's study sessions. I became his perpetual hydration assistant during mountain runs. Even his food scraps became my responsibility under the guise of anti-waste protocols. Campus gossip painted me as a patriot enduring humiliation, inexplicably boosting my fan base. Quite the popular alpha magnet. Alex sneered during lunch, watching my admirers linger. You want this privilege? I shot back, grimacing at the clashing pheromones. Being an Omega in this alpha-saturated hellscape was torture. The lieutenant qualifiers loomed, 3 days of wilderness survival capped by combat trials. As an Omega, brute force against Alex was futile. Strategic alliances formed my only hope. My gaze drifted to his chiseled profile, the dormant pheromone glands at his neck taunting me. Even if seduction worked, dubious, given his notorious pickiness, the humiliation wasn't worth it. Beneath an ancient oak, I chugged water while inventorying gear. My weakening constitution betrayed me again. Damn these Omega limitations. Footsteps crunched leaves as Kevin approached, his earthy pheromones triggering my nausea. Boss, he panted, oblivious to my discomfort. What's up with your pheromones? My mind involuntarily flashed to Alex's distinct sandalwood and agarwood scent. As much as I hated to admit it, the aroma was undeniably alluring. Wait, John. Kevin tilted his head. I thought top-tier alphas couldn't detect lower-grade pheromones. How come you? His suspicious gaze dropped to the gland I was desperately shielding beneath my collar. I haven't fully presented yet. If he exposed me now, everything would be ruined. Alex strode over, his large hand gripping my nape. Though the gesture should have felt threatening, I relaxed slightly. He was helping me hide the truth. Kevin immediately bristled. Get your hands off John. The entire squad turned to stare. For the love of God, would you just shut up already? Shouldn't cadets know reckless pheromone dispersion constitutes assault? Alex's glacial tone made Kevin pale. The rookie stammered. It's the drill sergeant's orders. Some Omega tried hiding their status during pre-match screening. They told me to flood the area. My blood ran cold. They might as well have posted my name on the bulletin board. I tugged Alex's sleeve urgently. His lips curved mockingly. What's wrong, John? Didn't our star alpha know the academy does surprise designation checks before tournaments? Can't have newly presented Omegas slipping through. Maintaining a death grip on my poker face, I dragged Alex into the pine grove. Is there any way to bypass the screening? Why should I help? He leaned against a tree. All lazy arrogance. You're not my Omega. Alex, don't push your fucking luck. Is this how Wilsons beg? His thumb brushed my racing pulse. My rut's approaching. Maybe I'll check that mystery Omega's compatibility. I seized his retreating arm, whispering through gritted teeth. Speak up. His breath ghosted over my ear. They won't satisfy you like I can. Ripping off my scent suppressant patch, I let peach blossom pheromones saturate the air. Tilting my exposed neck toward him, I rasped, You love peaches. Since you're cycling, brothers help brothers, right? Temp mark me. I squeezed my eyes shut, missing how his pupils dilated predatorily. Do you comprehend this invitation? His growl vibrated against my throat. Johnny, you brought this upon yourself. When his canines pierced my gland, I yelped. Wait, he froze. Regretting your tease already? Can we make it temporary? Fire and ice flooded my veins as he claimed the bite. My knees buckled, consciousness slipping until I found myself slumped against his chest. Alex unexpectedly brushed his lips over the fresh mark, igniting fresh tremors. Humiliation burned as traitorous tears dripped onto his uniform sleeve. This was beyond humiliating. Did I hurt? He began, uncharacteristically flustered. Dig a hole. Bury me. Now. I croaked into his shoulder. His chest rumbled with barely suppressed laughter as my traitorous body leaned into his embrace. Don't worry. It's just a temporary mark. I won't touch you again without your consent. Though meant as reassurance, my thoughts spiraled elsewhere. Alex was an S-rank alpha who'd eventually seek an S-rank omega with near-perfect compatibility. Why would he permanently mark someone like me? Whatever. I shoved him away, irritation flaring inexplicably. The screening had stopped as chaos erupted among the recruits. Beta medics swarmed through the crowd with syringes. What's happening? I grabbed a white-coated beta. Recognizing me, he snapped to attention. Mr. John, the captured Omega's S-rank. He released massive pheromones to escape, triggering early ruts in multiple alphas. The general suspect's enemy sabotage of the selection trials. We're conducting full searches now. My smile froze as I released him. So that's why Alex needed to temporarily mark me. S-rank Omega pheromones overpower standard suppressants. Not only did he treat me like his lackey, I'd become his damn backup plan. Now what? I glared, frustration boiling over. You promised to hide my status if I let you mark me. He clicked his tongue, amusement dancing in his eyes. With that temper, what alpha would want you anyway? The captured Omega turned out to be stunning. Golden hair cascading over trembling shoulders, wide eyes gleaming with fear like a kicked puppy. His shackles clinked as he lunged toward me. Sir, I'm innocent. Alex yanked me back before contact. He's filthy. Keep your distance. Asshole deserved to die alone. Even I felt protective urges toward this delicate creature. How could any alpha resist? Johnny. Damn this Omega biology. Johnny. Wait. Could Omegas pair together? Johnny. Modern science had to offer alpha conversion surgery. The brutal kick sent me sprawling before my father's furious gaze. Both our families, the Wilsons and Johnsons, stood beside the general, proof of this disaster's severity. Why was Dad so pissed? Rubbing my throbbing knee, I ventured, Dad? What's an alpha's situational awareness? He roared. I called you 3 times. Alex helped me up, the picture of concern. Uncle, John's been pushing hard for lieutenant promotion. Probably exhausted. Bastard even made his voice quiver with fake worry. Dad's expression softened tragically when seeing Alex. Such wasted potential. If you were Omega, I'd hold a knife to Johnny's throat to make him marry you. Mr. Johnson snorted. Your son's the real tragedy here. If he were Omega, I'd retire as deputy commander just to have Alex wed him properly. The words were casual, but the listener took them to heart. If you ask why I'm fighting tooth and nail to stay at this academy, it's all for my hot-tempered old man. His lifelong ambition has been to outdo the Johnson family patriarch. That's why Alex and I have always been at each other's throats. I could make Alex marry me. Maybe he'd finally abandon his vice commander position. Then my father would lose his biggest rival, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Perfect solution. My brilliant plan shattered before the general even finished speaking. Alex, we'll conduct an Omega compatibility test. If the match is exceptional, you'll take this Omega as your wife and train him properly. Logically, any alpha would jump at claiming such a rare Omega, even if Alex refused. But the general offering first pick to Alex showed unprecedented favor. No, 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 no. Our families did share some unexpected alignment. The general looked genuinely perplexed, scanning for stubborn faces. His well-intentioned gift had somehow provoked universal disdain. My objection was personal. What if omega-2 alpha conversion drugs became reality? Letting this beauty waste on emotionally stunted Alex would be criminal. The others' reasons? Only they knew. The captured Omega, Blake, glanced down, sniffing himself. Supreme-grade pheromones, why was everyone recoiling? My father stepped forward. My son's also an alpha. He should be tested too. Bless your meddling soul. That, Mr. Johnson countered. Your boy hasn't even fully presented yet. General, my son's reserved for John's hand. Give that Omega to whoever wants him. To my son. My father insisted. In your dreams, Mr. Johnson snapped. Alex and I exchanged glances, silently retreating from the brewing storm. The Omega was escorted to a temporary suite as the general ordered renewed screenings before resuming lieutenant promotions. My emotions roller-coastered. Just end this already. I nearly confessed everything when the beta approached with the truth serum. One injection would trigger immediate heat exposure. Mr. Wilson. The beta hesitated before me. In desperation, I shot Alex a pleading look, then remembered our rivalry. Of course he'd relish my downfall. As I extended my arm in surrender, Alex suddenly pulled me into an embrace, his sculpted forearm strategically blocking observers. My pulse skyrocketed, cheeks burning. Pathetic. One touch from a top alpha and I'm melting? John's needle phobic. Alex lied smoothly, glare freezing the beta in place. A single glance from him made beta involuntarily obey. The sharp needle pierced her skin as cold medication flowed into her veins. I watched beta bite her lip excitedly before turning to declare no abnormalities to the inspector. Relieving the tension, I blurted out, "What's he celebrating? Your man?" "Alex's." Alex reached out to touch my flushed cheek. "Feeling unwell? You're burning up." I stammered incoherently and fled. The lieutenant competition got postponed by a day. By next evening, our squad reached the mountain supply depot. My usual entourage followed Kevin and two lackeys sticking to me like glue. Alex maintained his signature distance, shadowing us like a persistent storm cloud. "Boss, he's tailing you for sabotage," Kevin hissed while I chewed stale bread. Through crumbs I mumbled, "Alex doesn't play dirty." Last combat trials. Kevin slammed his canteen. His goon tried spiking your boots with nails. You'd be crippled if not for. The others nodded vehemently. Kevin produced a glowing vial. S-class alpha inducer. Force him into rut phase during summit climb. No Omega? He'll collapse before finish line. Lieutenant's yours. They shoved the vial into my resisting palm. Spotting Alex's approaching silhouette, I pocketed the poison. Enough. Alex bulldozed through protests, hauling me behind boulders. Something warm and fragrant landed in my arms. A freshly roasted pheasant. "You cooked this fast?" I offered him the drumstick. Omegas need feeding. Alphas don't. No wonder he repelled every Omega with that mouth. I took spiteful bites as he knelt abruptly, yanking up my pant leg. "Don't." I jerked back, but his iron grip immobilized my ankle. The exposed shin revealed a raw gash souvenir from my earlier cliffside stumble. He caught me mid-fall, arms snapping around my waist like safety harness. I'd hidden the injury perfectly, or so I thought. "Silent suffering suits you?" His lazy drawl turned arctic. Lieutenant rank over survival? Thunderstorms where I'd locked him out? No reaction. Smashing his antique vase? Mere shrug. Destroying his starship blueprints? Indifferent. But this? I met volcanic fury in those usually languid eyes. The mountain itself seemed to hold its breath. Perhaps it was the ingrained Omega instinct to submit to alphas that made me soften my tone. "I'll be more careful next time. I'm just worried that if I don't make lieutenant, my dad might have a heart attack when he finds out I'm an Omega. How about cutting me some slack?" Let me take the lieutenant position. Yeah. Alex pressed his lips together. Ignoring me, he pulled disinfectant from his pocket, cleaned my wound, and applied a bandage. His messy bangs shadowed eyes so focused they transformed his roguish features into something aloof. The serum Kevin had given me sat in my back pocket. One shift of his hand and he'd discover it. Yet he kept tending to my injuries. Back at the barracks, Kevin cornered me. Any progress? His eagerness reminded me how he'd orchestrated previous clashes between Alex and me. When I stared too long, he rubbed his cheek awkwardly. What? Got something on my face. Boss? I grinned, clapping his shoulder. You'll get your reward when this pays off. Kevin exhaled. That lieutenant rank is yours, no doubt. As he'd explained, top-tier alphas like Alex become uncontrollable during rut cycles. No suppressants work. Only omega pheromones can stabilize them. Without timely intervention, even basic functions collapse. With Alex and me as the top contenders, his downfall would guarantee my promotion. The serum's temptation burned fierce. That night, I slipped into Alex's bunk while others slept. Before he could kick me off, I clung to his arm. Need to talk. Keeping my voice low to avoid waking nearby soldiers forced us into dangerous proximity. His heartbeat thrummed against my ear. I think Kevin's plotting against you. Not that I'm involved. He might be a spy. Look at this rut-inducing serum he gave me. Studied enough pharmacology to know something's off here. I dumped every suspicion into the moonlight between us. Instead of reacting to the treason, Alex's gaze dropped to where my scent gland brushed his jawline. Know what happens when an omega bares their neck to a rut-ready alpha? Wah? The world flipped. Pinned beneath him, I met storm-dark eyes. Christ, man, we're comrades. Have some standards. Focus on the serum. Dude, someone's targeting you. My shove at his chest accomplished nothing. Since when do alphas refuse gifts? His thumb traced my collarbone. Alex, please not here. Someone could later. Okay. Bad move. Hunger flared in his expression. Large hands spanned my waist as his mouth ghosted from forehead to nose to lips. Electric shivers dismantled my resolve. Worst of all, Alex, that bastard, seemed thrilled by my trembling. Surprisingly, he showed no resistance to my proximity. Out of spite, I sank my teeth hard into his shoulder, leaving a visible mark. Alex didn't flinch. Instead, his eyes crinkled with amusement. What a freak. Nothing like the composed top-tier alpha he was supposed to be. When my buddy stumbled out for a midnight bathroom break and called my name twice, I hastily fastened my belt and bolted from the bed. 20 contenders remained at the peak. Kevin hung back with his crew since they'd only come to support me. The other skilled fighters paired off for one-on-one matches, the ultimate victor earning the right to face Alex. Suddenly, Kevin's advice made sense. Taking down an elite alpha required underhanded tactics. I dispatched the other opponents with ease until only Alex and I remained in the ring. He strode in wearing tactical gear, posture military sharp, igniting deafening cheers from the crowd. Eliminated cadets riding the safety cart hollered our names, their eyes glued to this final showdown. My knees betrayed me, trembling uncontrollably. Go easy or I'll tell my dad you bruised me. I bluffed. Alex's lips quirked. Pleading works better between sheets. John. Bastard. I launched a flurry of punches and sweeps, but he dodged lazily like toying with a kitten. Even holding back, he had me retreating across the mat. Just as he moved to pin me, Alex suddenly clutched his abdomen and collapsed, face contorted. The instructor's emergency whistle pierced the air. Medics rushed over with kits. Critical poisoning in the elite alpha. Emergency evacuation needed. Chaos erupted. Who'd dare poison a top-tier alpha? John's always clashed with Alex. Why's he been cozying up lately? Ignoring the speculation, I helped load Alex onto the stretcher. The instructor demanded order, vowing to punish the culprit. As I moved toward the ambulance, a shout froze me mid-step. Wait, I know who did it. Kevin stepped forward, relishing the spotlight with faux solemnity. It's John. Gasps rippled through the arena. He spiked Alex's drink with engineered toxins to secure the lieutenant position. Kevin proclaimed. Bullshit. I lunged at him but got restrained. Check his bag, the vial's still there. He insisted. Within minutes, investigators produced a small empty test tube from my belongings, slightly different from the one he'd given me earlier. I've checked. It's Alpha's inhibitor. The moment the investigator spoke those words, Alex could no longer remain calm. That's impossible. What's inside should clearly be. Kevin, who'd been playing dead nearby, finally sat up. Should clearly be what? Poison meant for me that somehow turned into an inhibitor? Alex looked shocked. How are you unharmed? That useless John ultimately didn't have the guts to drug you. Kevin lunged forward, slamming Alex's head against the floor and twisting his foot against his neck. Who's useless? You orchestrated this whole scheme wanting to see us destroy each other, so you could waltz into the lieutenant position. Right, Vic? I nodded along with Kevin's accusation until he said Vic. Vic was the enemy's top assassin. What was he doing here? Idiot. I recognized him the first day at the academy. Only you kept treating this vermin like some treasure. I glared. Are you calling me stupid? Our drill instructor, long immune to our bickering, waved for guards to take away Alex. Or rather Vic now, bound in restraints. Top assassin but can't fight worth shit. Seems the enemy's overrated. At the victory banquet, I raised my glass only to receive concerned looks from my parents. Look who's talking. You believed every provocation. Alex could beat you single-handed. This dinner was ruined. I threw down my chopsticks and sulked in the garden. A tall figure crouched before me. What's troubling, my dear Omega? That tender tone made my eyes burn. I wiped escaping tears. Congratulations on becoming lieutenant. Someone of his strength deserved the promotion. Yet, Mr. Johnson, a youth in white shirt approached with liquid eyes. I've been looking everywhere for you. This was Blake, the prime Omega captured on the mountain. The general had ordered Kevin to evaluate him first. Master Wilson, you're here too. His fake innocence irked me. The minty pheromones wafting from him made it worse. Blake grasped Kevin's hand pleadingly. Please mark me, Mr. Johnson. Kevin didn't pull away. Bastard. Don't let me interrupt. I left before witnessing their potential marking. Yet I tossed all night wondering, would they? He's enemy-affiliated. But Kevin never reacted strongly to my pheromones. Like that time in the infirmary. Maybe I'm just a defective Omega. The bitter thoughts multiplied until my parents found me cocooned in misery. Let me sleep. Father bellowed impatiently. What do you mean sleep? Alex has entered rut and is completely out of control. I threw on my clothes haphazardly. Doesn't he have that premium Omega, Blake? Mother remained calmer. That's precisely the problem. Alex didn't just remove his scent gland, he killed him. What? Because Victor, the assassination expert, was actually the mole. He injected Alex with an inducer when his guard was down. Without an Omega's soothing, he'll die. The words exploded like thunder in my ears. My heart pounded violently. But I'm not an Omega. My voice trailed off weakly. Father kicked my chair. You think my intelligence team eats donuts all day? So the school nurse had ratted me out to him. They say an Omega marked by a powerful Alpha could get special permission to continue military academy. Really? I might actually finish school. Just so we're clear. This isn't about liking Alex. I just want my education. Pure academic ambition. My parents humored me with matching eye rolls. Of course, dear. No delicate Omega in the Empire could match my Olympic sprint through the storm that night. When I reached the Johnson estate, the overwhelming sandalwood scent hit me from 3 blocks away. Betas spotted me like drowning men seeing land, but Alex's pheromones had already turned my legs to jelly. The general barked orders as betas physically dragged me inside. Who'd expect the master assassin to be an Omega? Honestly, I hadn't either. New life goals. The usually arrogant Alex sat clutching my old academy jacket, trembling like a lost puppy. Johnny, I need you. Who knew alphas in rut became such vulnerable messes? I nearly live-streamed his pathetic state, but residual human decency kicked in. The betas dumped me at his door, claiming they didn't want to interrupt. Thank God Alex regained enough sense to close the final distance when I bared my neck. Otherwise I'd still be crawling across that damn marble floor. I stayed firm. Temporary mark only. Screw temporary. After 2 days of Alex's appreciation, I ran a 104 degrees fever and couldn't walk straight for weeks. No Omega survives unscathed from an S-class alpha's claiming. Now his ruts come monthly. Sometimes I wonder if he let Victor inject him on purpose. Aren't you supposed to be stopping terrorist plots? I nudged the sweaty alpha currently mapping my collarbone with his teeth. Alex's stormy eyes met mine. This is counterterrorism. He kissed the claiming bite. Our 100% compatibility means you're stuck with me. S-class Omega. Like hell. I'm getting this gland removed tomorrow. Which surgeon would dare? His laughter vibrated against my skin. We're biologically welded for life. Sweetheart. After presenting as an Omega, I was claimed by my sworn rival Alex. The moment John's teeth sank into my scent gland during that chaotic charity gala, I knew our decade-long rivalry had taken an irreversible turn. Across the ballroom, Kevin's champagne flute shattered on the marble floor as he witnessed the claiming bite. Relax. Johnny's just helping our little Blake through his first public heat. Vic drawled from the shadowed corner, polishing his combat knife with practiced ease. The Johnson family's head security officer never left his charge unprotected. Alex's mocking laughter vibrated against my trapped wrist. Did you really think wearing scent blockers would hide your designation from me, sweetheart? His alpha pheromones coiled around us like gilded chains, drowning out Blake's distressed whimpers from across the room. I glared up at the 6'3" frame that haunted both boardrooms and my nightmares. Go to hell, Johnson. Already there, darling. His thumb brushed my swollen mating gland, eliciting a traitorous shudder. Welcome to eternity.